Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Vacheron Constantin Patrimony Traditionnelle Chronograph. You can see and you can purchase this white gold and rose gold boutique exclusive on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this and our entire collection of Vacheron Constantin timepieces. Now, the watch on my wrist represents a 2013 boutique exclusive update of the reference 47192 that first bowed at SIHH 2009. Now, in 2013, the watch gained a unique combination of rose gold accents on a white gold case with a dial to match. The two-tone treatment is discreet, elegant, inventive, and in many ways causes this particular example to read dramatically different from those that feature the exact same dimensions, in some cases exact same dial specifications, save coloration and case material. The watch is set apart by these unique aesthetic tweaks to the point that it really does feel like a different timepiece and a standalone within the Vacheron collection. Also, a note on nomenclature: Patrimony Traditionnelle was a specific line within Vacheron until 2015, when the Patrimony and Traditionnelle lines diverged. In contemporary nomenclature, though the watch is no longer made, the presence of Dauphine hands at center would place this one in what is known as the Traditionnelle family today. Now, it's big, 42 millimeters across the round of the case, not including chronograph pushers or crown. In terms of thickness, it's reasonably compact, 11 millimeters thick. With a sloped bezel, it does easily slide underneath the dress cuff. Lug to lug, it's substantial but not oversized. 50 millimeters gives it good wrist presence, and at 42 millimeters, this is the higher end of the scale for a pure dress chronograph, but it wears its weight and it wears its size well thanks to the flat profile and thin case. Now, you will note it features a robust medium brown rectangular scale, minimally bolstered alligator leather strap with folded edges and a monotone stitch. It is drilled very close to the case. You can see how far inboard of the lug tips the drilling actually is, meaning this rather large watch wears quite compact. You can put it on a small wrist, and I would say 14 centimeters. The lower end of the spectrum, if your wrist is oval, means you can wear this watch securely. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, I'm not pushed to the limit. You can see the strap actually flares out a little bit. I've got room to size down if I would like to. Now, all in precious metal, this one is quite hefty. The sizable strap is matched with a clasp of equal stature. You can see a massive strap joined to a weighty white gold Maltese cross motif double deployant clasp. You can see there's both blasted and polished finish inboard, and of course that Maltese cross wing motif. Everything about this watch being beautifully finished and beautifully styled. Now, of course, the watch itself is minimalist, but it makes do with a few well-chosen character lines. The coining of the case back is distinctive and pleases in profile. The step down of the case band as well as the lugs is a sharp and elegant measure that breaks up the monotony of the straight flanks and gives the watch a little bit more of a hard masculine edge when viewed in profile. Now, the small step between caseband and bezel achieves the same effect. The dial, however, is really the showpiece of the watch. It's what sets it apart from other platinum and white gold references in the Patrimony Traditionnelle Chronograph family. It's a combination of a grained center, and it does have a very soft, almost sandpaper, a very fine sandpaper-like grain at the center dial. There's a brighter metallic finish about the minutes track. Outboard, there's a very discreet printed tachymeter scale, and then all of the indices themselves are beautifully diamond finished, satin finished, and hand applied. The double finish is also seen on the Dauphine style hands at center, which are half frosted and half polished to promote better contrast. Now, if you look at the dial, you'll note that the subregisters are beautifully countersunk, with a raised center and a little bit of what one might call a channel around the outer circumference, with a metallic calibration featuring black on silver print. It is gorgeous, and it glows. It doesn't explode the way a sunburst does, but rather it glows and reflects gently in the light of a light box, just as it does in broad daylight. The watch is best described as mellow, a mix of white and rose gold. It features the discretion of the white with the elegance of the rose, and that goes for the beautiful dark gray granular dial as well. It's a hybrid of aesthetic sensibilities. What's unarguable is the traditionalist finish and architecture of the caliber on the back. Now, this is what's known as Vacheron Constantin caliber 1141, also known as the Lemania 2310, also known as the CH27. Over the years, variants of this movement have found their way into Roger Dubuis, Daniel Roth, Breguet, Patek Philippe, Vacheron, just as they found their way into watches that have gone to the moon in Omega cases. This is a broad family, but what you're looking at is the highest echelon of finish and function in the CH27 lineage. Now, what you see here is beautifully executed. You can see the mirrored edge to every bridge. As I move this through the light, you'll note these highlights and hairline flashes of reflection. Those are all hand-applied anglage, mirrored, rounded, executed by hand, not by machine. You'll see the same level of optical polish on every screw head as well as the cap of the column wheel and each of its crenellated towers. Known as poly noir or black polish, it's the highest standard of optical finish, and likewise you'll find it on the swan's neck regulator of the oversized 18,000 vibration per hour balance. Now, underneath that balance is a very traditional Breguet style overcoil for concentric beating in any orientation due to gravity. That's any position. And though you can't see it terribly well from this angle, the watch features an uncommon refinement that I've seen in a couple of older watches but scarcely ever encounter on a modern one, known as a anti-hooking guard for the hairspring. This is a small gold wire that prevents the hairspring, which is equipped with overcoils, from accidentally getting tangled on its own coils under conditions of shock or vibration. Now, you'll note everything is beautifully executed right down to that gorgeous column wheel, and if I were to execute a activation and disengagement of the chronograph, you can watch the levers and the horns interacting with the column wheel. You can probably hear it too. It is very crisp, and you'll see the chronograph drivetrain, the lateral clutch, moving in and out just under my thumb. That's the advantage of a lateral clutch. While it's not quite as smooth as a vertical clutch, you see all of it. If you love mechanical watchmaking for its own sake, you want a lateral clutch. And if you love the tactile pleasure of a traditional column wheel chronograph, why settle for anything less than the best? And that's what this is. With a 48-hour manual wind power reserve, you're going to want to know, how does it wind? And I'm happy to say it's just as much a pleasure to wind as it is to cycle the chronograph. Of course, chronograph functions demarcated by blackened hands, seconds at center, minutes at 3 o'clock. The watch is handsome, classically styled, a little bit bigger than the norm for a dress watch, but for many, that's going to be the only way to wear a traditionally sized chronograph. It's either going to be right-sized or undersized. If you're wearing a 38, if you're wearing a 40, if you love classical proportions, classical details, but your wrist is just big, or you prefer a modern watch size, this is a fantastic combination of contemporary and classic, immaculately finished from a great house. You can see and you can own this Patrimony Traditionnelle Boutique Edition chronograph in white gold and rose gold on our website.